Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Do it like every weekend, they're used to it. But...
Aspley Oval to watch the Aspley Hornets take on the University of Queensland. Huge clash today. We've got last year's grand finalists coming up against a side who had an up and down season last year, but you'd have to say finished on the up. Last time these two teams played was back in round 15 last year, and it was one of the biggest upsets probably of the season. Daniel Viles, what are we expecting to see out of today?
I have absolutely no idea, Hannah. Welcome to 2024, and the reason I don't is because both sides have had a literal 50% turnover. Only 11 of Aspley's grand final side are here today, and only 10 of the 20 players who played in UQ's last game of the year are here for the Red Lionesses. Big changes in the midfield, though, and we will pay more attention to those during the game, because Leona Jones is about to get us underway. Wherever you're watching from around the world, hello footy fans. This is the Bond University QAFLW for 2024. As Rachel Anstey returning today has it knocked away from her. Laura Roy will see plenty of her left foot throughout this season. Lucy Pengelly captaining Aspley today for the first time. Wrestling at centre half back, being pushed back inside 50, supported well, turned over to UQ, looking towards Jane Childs, not able to bring it down, just inside the 50. The handball came inside, just wasn't able to be held onto. And there will be a ball up as Patrick Riley calls it about 30 from goal.
So we thought that Bridie Condren might start in that ruck position, but it looks like they've got her down in the goal square.
Bit of height down there because it was a small forward line named for UQ. The ball only moves 2 metres, and there will be another ball up. Towards goal, cleaned up at the back by Aspley. Not terribly clean as it's moved out towards left half-back. And it will just beat Jamie Bryant, the Queensland half-back, over the boundary, as well as Holly O'Flaherty. Who are our umpires today, Hannah?
The umpires today, well, you already mentioned Leona Jones, and joining her on the field is Patrick Riley and Austin Gillett. On the boundary, we've got Mark Daltera, and in goals is Zoe Matthews and Aidan Morgan.
Knocked away towards Charlotte Andrews. She looks out towards the right, well intercepted by one of the new faces, well, an old new face in Alana Perry, in number 7 for Aspley. Best and fairest winner here, the Taylor Harris Medal as it's known. Took 2 years off. Now a very proud mum. And today she's a very fierce midfielder. Anstey went up against Coco Garson in the ruck, moved over from Cooperoo, kicked away, far too easy to Eloise O'Connor, who's back at Aspley after a couple of years away playing for Williamstown and various Defence Force teams. Rachel Anstey, not able to bring it down. Knocked out over the boundary, not deliberate, interesting call. It will just be a boundary throw-in, as it just came a bit hard off the hands of Gracie Roy.
So 3 major outs today for Aspley. We've got Emma Pittman, the captain, who's got a short-term knee injury. Ange Lingard and Katara Wakfara are all out today.
Katara Wakfara will be interesting to see through the remainder of the season as Jasmine Kawa, big sister of a couple of other Kawas at the club, replaces her sister in the starting lineup today. The number 6, also of Williamstown, just went past Laura Roy in the 24 jersey and played bogged down in the middle of the field. Rachel Anstey, a premiership winner with Yeronga in 2020, injured in the last game of the 2021 season as it's booted forward by Eva Sartor, playing without the headgear this year. And Lucy Thompson, she did that once or twice last year, cleaning up at the back. Moves left, looking for Louise Tyson, made last year's Team of the Year in the Bond University QAFLW. Gave it away to Charlotte Andrews. She loses the ball. Louise Tyson wins the free.
Tyson's had a great pre-season, won the club's best and fairest last year as well, but that one just didn't go quite to the target.
Laura Roy on her bike. The kick is flat, not where she wanted it all. Bit of a spin on it, though. It may just fall fortuitously. Cleaned up well enough at the back. Lauren Middleton. Middleton around 1, around 2, hooks it. Lauren Middleton opens the scoring for UQ in 2024.
Great start from UQ. Just a hell of a lot of fight so far is what I'm seeing. You know, it was always going to be tough coming up against Aspley. You know, last year's grand finalists, probably a bit of pressure, but so far it's just all been about UQ.
They're winning the ball out of the middle. The switch, as you say, Bridie Condren, the ex-netballer, was named in the ruck. Coco Garton, who played forward for Cooperoo last year. Ross Clayfield's pulled the switcheroony. He's a deceitful man. He's a deceitful man, Ross Clayfield.
And Coco's having a great start as well. She's got great hands, but her peripheral must be great because she's really putting it to a target.
And up against Rachel Anstey, who takes that one unopposed. Running onto it was Jasmine Kawa. Booted through the middle by Perry. Not her cleanest kick. Collision. But Eva Sartor only had eyes for the ball ahead of Tyson. Plays off to Andrews. Sorry, Hannah, get back to you in a moment. Off hands towards the boundary. Free kick's been awarded for premature contact to UQ.
Now, it's just a late contact there from Tyson. A little bit silly, I think. Probably should have seen that one coming sooner. But umpires played that one pretty nicely. Let it go.
Elka Barnett kicks it centrally, came through hands and went to Bryant. Bryant played it right, looking for Jessica Davey, another one of the recruits this year, a QAFLW legend. Aspley have to retreat to advance. O'Connor, very calm, plays it wide. Needed 2 sets of Aspley hands to be able to get onto the ball. The tackle from behind, I'm guessing, no, it's been called. I thought maybe no prior, but UQ have the free kick on the left wing. Scuffed kick, cleaned up a little bit too easily by Jessica Davey. Handball's out of trouble. They love to handball out of the back, do the Aspley Hornets. Davey down the wing, but the strapping on the left shoulder. Not able to be taken by Lilu Hung. So good to see her back. 18 years old. Could be a very, very big year for Lilu. No pressure.
Oh, none at all.
No. No, just because the big fat guy in the com box says something. O'Flaherty and Middleton taking a break. Izzy McDonough comes on for Aspley, her debut at the QAFLW today. Lions Academy player. Laura Roy, big fend on Anstey. Couldn't fend twice. Anstey tried to get away, had Coco Garton onto it. Garton looks like she's put a bit of muscle on over the off-season.
Yeah, she's a fresh high school graduate. Graduated from Brisbane Girls Grammar School last year. Well, she was the footy captain there. And you're right, looks like she's put a lot of work in the off-season.
Kawa wrestled to ground by Ashley Moyle. So Moyle in the 15, Laura Roy in the 24. And apparently when they watch video, they mix each other up, which makes me feel a lot better. Bursting through the middle was Kawa. Davey. Davey propelling it forward. Finds herself in a bit of space. Was able to get around Roy. Andrews fumbled. At the back, oh, possibly some high contact on McDonough. That's how it's been called. McDonough has a free kick, 48 out. Laura Roy comes off the field. McDonough, left footer, looked wide for Stallard. Didn't quite work. Both of them hit the deck. Stallard will take a few marks this year. Henning has her first touch. Looked to have an arm around the shoulder, but in fact she's been called for holding. Free kick to Aspley. Stallard free kick within range. 32 goals all told last year, 5 of them in the preliminary final. Equal leading goal kicker of the season in the home and away with Maggie O'Connell. And then beat her in a 5-0 shootout in the prelim at Fankhauser. Stellard in front of the newer clubhouse. Looks to have hooked it. And in the end, just out on the full. Aspley keeping a very high back line. There's only 2 players this side of the centre circle, or their side of the centre circle, rather. Henning. So familiar long boot she's got just through the arms of Davey. Not able to pick up the weather. It's supposed to be raining right now, according to the weather report from a couple of days ago. Hasn't happened. Maddie Crowley-Long working hard on the ground. Belted it underneath Evie Long, who's already been drafted by the Brisbane Lions, but today's her QAFLW debut. Big tackle from McDonough. It'll just be a ball up as she made sure that Annalise Neary on debut was going nowhere. Garton doing well against Anstey. It's a good battle. Long bit off, bit more than she could chew. She's been pinged just inside the 50. Childs runs away with it. In fact, that was Crowley-Long, apologies. Through to Condren. Condren, big target, looks for Decker. Moving into the forward line this year after a few years at halfback. Does well to fight for the ball. Got her body position over it and won the free kick.
No targets down there so far for UQ, though. A bit slow to pull back.
Instead, she goes wide to find Garton. Good space from Garton. Has a free Ashley Moyle this side of her. Wins a 50. McDonough went over the mark. And Patrick Riley showing early in the season that he's going to police that, and it's a good thing because it opens up the play. So how well do they teach set shots at girls' grammar, Hannah?
That's a great question. I haven't spent much time in the AFL program.
What are you doing there, honestly?
Not coaching footy, unfortunately.
No, media and comms.
No, but I mean, if you can go ruck and kick a goal, that's a pretty phenomenal task.
It's a good skill set that Coco Garton has. A new start this year. Looks to have the legs. Touched just before or just after. She's got the goal. 10th minute. Coco Garton on the board for her new club, University of Queensland. Aspley had their chances at the other end. It was a fairly quick transition from the back to UQ. I'll have to go back and measure that later, but it can't have been more than 90 seconds from back to front.
Yeah, I think they look a little bit panicked. I think, early season jitters, round 1, wanting to start off strong, but sometimes I think that can go the other way for teams.
Should be remembered as well that Aspley, phenomenally successful season last year. First quarters weren't their strength. Davey, bursting out of the middle, was looking wide for the run of Maddie Tallis, yet another debutante, come down from Redcliffe, Lions Academy. Through the middle without it was Harriet Knife, second year at UQ. O'Flaherty through the middle. Now has grand final experience. Good work from Perry. Perry looking for the target up front of Hung. Hung looking for Stallard. Comes all the way back to McDonough. Just unable to control at the moment. Liesi about 40 out. We know she has a long kick. Bryant further forward, looking for Stallard. Took a couple of attempts, but she got it. And this is a much better position than she had a couple of minutes ago.
And they're under a lot of defensive pressure from UQ. They're manning up really tight. Almost every ball's got 2, 3 near it.
Good response to the goal so far from Aspley, and shows a bit of heart, or possibly just fear of Luke Glacken. They can look the same. Jess Stallard looks to be across to the right and off the fingers of, I think that's Vetter in the pocket. So no score. As maybe Stallard, don't know if it was lack of confidence or just a missed kick.
Unusual though, definitely unusual. You mentioned those jitters. They just look a little bit nervous out there, Aspley.
Fighting for possession. O'Flaherty. Sorry, it's not O'Flaherty, that's Davey. Sorry, McDonough. McDonough with about her 5th kick of the game. She has a goal in the QAFLW. And the Lions Academy, their interest is justified. two things about McDonough there. Firstly, she's clearly got a bit of pace. But secondly, she seems to read the play very well. There's a few times now where the ball's squirted out and she's been the one who's been there. So she's clearly, for a young player, just 18, seems to have a bit of an ability to know what's happening next. Now, I think Leona Jones is just checking to make sure that the 5-6-5 formation is withheld. I don't think a warning was given. But possibly UQ just got their structures wrong. But Aspley's back. Liesi. It's a non-preferred foot, and it's still in about 50 metres. McDonough's working hard at centre half forward. Gets through again. Could have her second goal. Not only is that McDonough's second goal, that is Aspley's 300th goal in their QAFLW history.
Wow, 2 in a row in that short time. Just incredible. You mentioned how reading the play so well. And, you know, I was kind of talking about confidence too. And those strides, she just had great confidence picking it up and running. I loved it.
And the initial clearance, not sure if there was a tap beforehand, but it was Jessica Davey who was able to burst out of the middle. As I said before, won a premiership with Moreton Bay in what is effectively the second division, the QAFLW Division 1. Testing herself at a higher level. And in the commentary box, we're loving it. It's all square. It's Aspley Oval. Jane Childs, traditionally a winger, working its way through the middle, but turned over. Kawa gets it forward. McDonough can't stay out of the action. This time the defensive pressure from Annalise Neary was a little bit quicker. Pengelly, not so much a handball as a hand slap, or maybe a slap ball. That's called a throw, however. UQ have a free kick and a chance to settle because they've been under the pump for a few minutes now. Sator, smart kick. Saw Childs loose, thought let's not complicate it. Neary comes off, Gilbert comes on. Looking for Middleton, very important this year, now the most experienced midfielder at UQ. Was looking for Decker, Kawa got in the middle, got crunched by Decker and Ashley Moyle. And now Maddie Tallis was working her way back down the field, squeezes out to Sator, she's become increasingly busy. And it might have been Tiana Ernst. We have a genuine great of Australian football. She's just given away a free kick, so completely the wrong time to introduce her. But Tiana Ernst is back in the QAFLW for the first time in 5 years. Decker is looking for a target up front. Fell to Garton. Couldn't get purchase on the kick. Aspley handballing out at the back. Few fumbles. They'll need to be smart here. And eventually it's worked. That might have been Vanderveel who was able to hack it out. Keeping it wide. Ernst running onto it. Was able to keep it in. No boundary umpires called it out of bounds.
UQ just struggling to find that second option. They've got plenty around the ball, but it's that outlet pass that they just don't currently have right now. We've seen a switch up as well. Condren back into the ruck. Just not as on the ball as Garton was before.
And the speed of the play has increased because Aspley has matched the early speed of UQ. Gracie Roy's kick was charged down. Coming now towards Gilbert. Evie Long was just able to get onto it, did well under pressure. Henning was taken high. She gets the free in the middle of the park. Stabs it through the middle. Well picked off. Very well picked off by Kawa. Kawa looking for an equally smart kick. Henning and Kawa playing their own game. I think Hung's arm may have just caught Henning as she was falling. Umpire rightly decided, let's just continue. Henning with a second effort. Childs ducks underneath. A lot of attention being paid to her by McDonough. 2 goals, including a history-making one so far in the first quarter. Push in the back. Free kick to Aspley at the back of the centre square. Lanigan goes wide, tries to settle it down, only just got there ahead of Crowley Long. Tiana Ernst goes for a run, keeps the eyes low, went to a one-on-one contest. Wasn't able to get it into the hands of Tallis, and the ball will be thrown up on centre wing. Meek Piunti, formerly of Victoria Park Juniors, comes onto the field. Played a little bit of netball. Hannah, know anything about it?
Oh, just a little bit. Yeah, she's been a great netballer, played in the Sapphire Series, I think most recently with Bond, but she's done a lot of rep work with the Tigers as well. Usually plays in that wing attack midi position, but a great game sense, and I think her speed will be what makes her stand out in this side.
Nick Piunti keeping an eye on her as the ball is just hacked out of the way by Gracie Roy. Turned over to Aspley, and it'll be Davey. Well, there was a whistle. She'll win a free kick, and it'll be paid where the incident took place.
So I've loved seeing Davey's injection into this top-tier comp. She's kind of done everything you can in the Div 1. She's a premiership captain, took on best on ground in the grand final, won both her club and league best and fairest.
Ernst completely indecisive, and Elka Barnett wins the free kick. She goes centrally. Ernst makes up for her error with a beautifully timed charge down. It's been 3 turnovers in the last 10 seconds. Big contest on the side. There hasn't been a clear disposal for about 20 seconds. Eventually squirts out the back to Carla, but even her handball wasn't great. Crowley Long got onto it. Eventually hacked out towards Tyson. She doesn't need much space. Tyson versus Andrews. Andrews did well, looking for Henning inside. I think O'Flaherty got there first. McDonough on the run. McDonough looking for Stallard. McCormick will clean it up very easily. And very wisely decided to play on. Looking for space. It looks like O'Connor will get to it first. Just gets there ahead of Gilbert. Good tackle from Gilbert on O'Connor. Squirts out the back past Schuring. Another one returning to the QAFLW after 7 years. Some of them spent in Munich. Down towards Henning. She takes it easily.
She's been a rock back there for UQ.
For a decade?
Yeah.
About 6 years. Hung just got the kick away. There was pressure on it. Dropped under pressure from, I think, Andrews. Tyson was nearly away. Might still be away. Onto the boot. Leads a target. McCormick got in very well. Had a brilliant game here in round 15 where she basically shut down Rania Crozier. And she shut down that particular attack as well. Aspley still on the charge. Hung knocked it, trying to give it space, knocked it sideways. And in the end, we're going to have another stoppage. Well, probably in a better position for Aspley, but slightly further out. Comes sideways in front of goal. Drop kick attempted by Gracie Roy, the wrong sport. And a trip's been called. I think the Aspley bench did the commentary before I did. I'm not needed here, am I? Luch, 20 seconds, just kick. Lucia Liesi has a long kick. Her set shots were a bit hot and cold last year, but it's hot today. Lucia Liesi greets the siren in style. Aspley's 3rd goal of the quarter.
So 18-12, the Aspley Hornets lead. Well, UQ started that one so strongly, and Aspley, I feel like we're a little bit slow to get into it, but you made a great point, Daniel, that Aspley tend to take a little bit of time to warm up into the game. I felt like they used their sides more on the wings. I think UQ were trying to shortcut a little bit and just go down through the corridor, but I think Aspley played a more patient game in that quarter.
I think probably, look, first of all, I think you're right. And UQ's DNA, they've always had excellent wingers, but they tend to be used in a sort of break class in case of emergency situation. Whereas, you're right, Aspley were able to spread the play wide. And I think, to be honest, while McDonough deserves credit for what she did up front, it all came out of the middle, and particularly Jess Davey.
Yeah, she was fantastic. And we're going to wrap up now and just come back in a little bit for the second quarter. Heading into the second quarter now, the Aspley Hornets taking on UQ in round one of the Bond University QAFLW. Well, it's been a pretty even affair, but a little bit seesawing at the exact same time, hasn't it, Daniel?
Even and seesawing. Look, you're probably right in a roundabout kind of way. Very poetic re-entry there, Hannah. But I mean, essentially, it was a quarter of 2/8 where UQ dominated early, and then Jess Davey decided I've had enough of this, and suddenly she was the one breaking away from the middle rather than the likes of Moyle and Roy. So. Interested in your thoughts on the rucks, because Coco Garton wasn't named there, but the battle between her and Anstey has been fascinating.
Yeah, I think Garton's been having a great game. I got the chance to call her once last year, and she also was fantastic for Cooperoo. I think she's really physical, and she definitely doesn't shy away from those big contests. And she's just got a great skill set. I mean, she's already kicked 1 goal. She's been great in the ruck. You can throw her in forward. I think she's just this young talent that is going to be great for UQ this year, and particularly in this game so far.
6-point lead to Aspley, which, to be honest, is probably what you may have expected before this game started, but it's certainly not what we expected 10 minutes in. And while we're just waiting for play to get underway, the Aspley ruck, Rachel Anstey, not only is it her return to QAFLW today, it's also her birthday. She decided that I wasn't allowed to say she was 34 years old. Whoops, I did it. But it was UQ captain Maddie Crowley-Long's birthday on Wednesday. She's 32. They used to play together at Zilmere under Ross Clayfield. It's basically a 12-year reunion today. Second quarter. I hope you're enjoying the Bond University QAFLW here on the AFL Queensland YouTube channel. As Lucia Liesi hands the ball back to Leona Jones after pretty much nothing happened. Garton does well, but it was Bryant and Liesi who got their hands to the pill first. McCormick went for the intercept quite rightly, didn't quite work. Neary cleans up well, has McDonough on her straight away. McDonough did very well. That's a ball up inside 50. So it's Liesi getting the clearances out of the middle so far. She's normally the first recipient, but just been right place, right time. So happy birthday, Rachel Anstey and Maddie Crowley-Long. Tyson goes wide looking for Jamie Bryant, playing a lot further forward than we've seen her in the past. Looked for the handball, could only find Roy. Laura Roy not able to escape the pack. Plays allowed to continue. Finds Tyson. Handballed out of action, Davey Bryant. That was slick. And then eventually the charge down from, I think, Ashley Moyle it was. I believe this is her draft year, Ashley Moyle. I'm not going to put pressure on her, but let's just say there won't be surprises. Ernst came from the back, a former ruck, went to Bryant. Looking behind her for Pengelly. Congratulations on captaining. Anstey rode that tackle to Barnett. Just a ball up. Cleverly disguised from Anstey. Realised she had nowhere to go. Thought, no, I'm just going to be under siege. Perry was kicking better than that in 2021 and will kick better than that in 2024.
Just came off the boot a little bit wrong, but it's certainly slowing them up, isn't it? UQ haven't been able to move particularly far down this line. The pressure from Aspley has been enormous.
And because they're under siege, they'll keep it wide. Garton thought she had it. The mark's been paid to Anstey. Garton said, what do you mean? I touched it. Just play the whistle. Anstey, flat kick to Tyson. Not able to hold on. Andrews, handballed to a piece of grass. Ernst rides the tackle. Well picked off by Laura Roy. Vanderweel intercepted well. Calm kick because she saw Liesi. Just missed the target. Liesi looked for space in between 3 players. Shoering's on the ground. Liesi's on Shoering. Leona Jones, a 2021 Grand Final umpire, a match that UQ won. Still on YouTube, go watch it. Davey goes inside 50, looking for McDonough, and just went over the back of the teammates. McCormick tried to get through. Stallard, few stray hands, off the Boyle. Yeah, that was clumsy. Very clumsy from Moyle, and Tyson will have the free kick. Okay, someone get a photo of Anstey and Crowley-Long together. Ben Grimes, where are you? Comes off to the side of Tyson's boot. Running towards Vetter. Vetter couldn't get into space. On the ground, that might be Knife underneath. There's a few identical blondes in this side. That was Hargraves, in fact, who has naturally dark hair and dyed it blonde. I told her off before the match for that, because my opinion totally counts.
So we're just getting really congested down here. Again, I think teams they're both just looking to go straight down the line. I'd love to see them use their angles a little bit more. Find the space.
Maybe a case of not trusting their teammates to win one-on-one battles at this stage. Or possibly testing them out on the safety of the side corridors, you know what I mean, before testing it in the middle. Tyson getting involved. Was ostensibly a half forward last year, but played a lot of each match at inside midfield. And why not? It's a big skill set. Barnett comes off for Piunti. Vanderweel tried to come off and was told not to. Anstey versus Garten nearly fell on. In fact, that was Hung. Inside to Liesi. Liesi with the left foot. That's swinging. Beautiful kick from Liesi. She's got her second. What was that you were saying about pressure, Hannah?
What pressure?
More that, they've spent pretty much the entire quarter camped. I mean, has it come back past this side of the centre circle? I don't think so.
Hardly. Yeah, it's been really, really congested. I think they did well to kind of grind out that passage of play and make it happen. I think I'd love to see some more free-flowing footy, but I think this matchup today may not be that. I think it's really tight, really contested.
Aspley has 4 goals and 3 of them scored on the left foot, and 1 of them by a right footer. Three goals last season for Lucia Liesi. She's got 2 already in the first half today. Condren has moved into the ruck to take on Anstey. As UQ get a little bit of forward momentum. This is as far forward they've been in this quarter. Beautifully picked off, but the tackle was even better. I think it was Sartor. In fact, it was Jane Childs. Known for that. Brilliant premiership year in 2021, Jane Childs. Injured for all of 2022, I believe. Looks up towards centre half forward. Decker had it punched away from her. O'Connor did well at the back. Just squeezing out. Eventually, that went to Barnett. Thompson will clean up. Thompson will come wide, looking for Bryant, who's tracked a long way back. She's quick. Just wasn't able to control the pill. But UQ now on the charge. Maybe just a bit of precision needed. As the clumsy commentator stands on the camera operator. And we thank Ben and Double Take for their work today. Ball not moving from the left forward pocket for UQ.
Aspley just so tight on their defence then. Even that last entry, there was just no chance.
The defence is organised. Condren got the tap to it, but not to a teammate. Lanigan looking to clear. Again, by hand is their preferred method. I could see what Laura Roy was trying to do. She thought it was just shoulder on shoulder. Umpire saw it as a little bit more harsh. O'Connor, short kick to Bryant. Bryant sizes her up her options. Saw something she liked in midfield as Kawa came from behind the contest.
Straight back on is Liesi, who I think will go up for this beautiful injection. Just can't quite get to it.
Still make a good photo. High contact. And the free kick goes to Jane Childs. I was about to say upping her work rate. I think she's just upping the success that's coming from her work rate. That's beautiful from Roy. Laura Roy, 2 of them out there. Gracie's in number 16.
Couple of options. She'll go long though.
Nearly fell into the breadbasket of Barnett. Piunti. Piunti caught from behind. Push in the back. Piunti will have a free kick as McNiven's tackle went awry. Has Crowley long to the left. Barnett's moving to the right. Middleton a little further forward. There are options further to our right as well. Pionzi gets a flat kick, a short kick, and it's an ineffective kick. Picked off by Lanigan. Came wide to McNiven. Turned into a 50-50 ball. Knocked inside. That was by Harriet Knife. The boundary looks to be the winner of this contest as again... Oh, one of those tackles. It's not a sling tackle, but just the ground was hit slightly hard. But mind you, most things Eloise O'Connor does on a football field are done pretty hard. Condren couldn't get her hand to the ball. Anstey kind of did, but either way, it's a boundary throw-in. UQ spending 2 or 3 minutes up here, but haven't had an actual shot on goal yet. Humid weather, very muggy, but the rain has not come. If you believe the report from 2 days ago, this ground should have been underwater. Knife, outside of the boot, it'll sneak in for a minor score. And we have the first miss of the day.
So UQ were the first to strike in this match, but I feel the energy just drops from them a little bit. Just letting the Hornets take control of their home ground.
Well, they haven't really made the Hornets disorganise their defences. Anstey takes a mark that we've seen a fair bit of in the years 2009 to 2021. As a 50 is paid, Anstey advances, or in fact it's a downtown free kick, so it won't be Anstey's free kick.
And in great timing, McDonough's gone back on.
Sorry, I was wrong twice. It is Anstey's 50. Sorry, Hannah, continue. New season jitters. Anstey kicked it away. Tyson rescued it. Came off the fingers of Jess Davey. McDonough works well. Gave it back inside to Tallis. Tallis up towards the goal square, hoping it would run on for Vetter. In the end, a boundary throw in. Very handy position. And the Aspley coaching staff just to the right of our box are looking about as relaxed as they ever do. In fact, Ash Hales just smiled. I didn't think that was allowed. Ash Williamson, rather. Who was a teammate of Anstey and Crowley long back in those Zilmere days, along with everyone named Brock. UQ had the turnover, weren't able to make it count. Tallis had her hands near the ball, taken by Neary. She was brave under the circumstances, and she'll cause a stoppage. Still dangerous position, but Neary defused that one. Henning with a thump. Liesi with a good handball. Just caught the teammate out of position. Tallis immediately crunched. The tackle was around the shoulder. Not a tall girl, Maddie Tallis. Woman, Daniel. You don't call them girls. That's patronising. Over the boundary as UQ defend their line skillfully. UQ had a few minutes in attack before, but this has pretty much been the location of the third quarter. Tyson tracked well by Knife, but gave away the free. I don't think Clayfield will mind that too much. At least if you're going hard at the ball, which there certainly was. Evie Long off, Jamie Bryant on. Now, every time I see Louise Tyson play, her set shot gets a little bit longer. She's gone for the shot. In the end, Henning should have taken it. Dropped it, pushed off it. Aspley looking to work it into the middle. Liesi's got a hat-trick.
Wow, Liesi, she just seems to pop up at all the right times. And considering, how busy it is down there, there's practically no free space. Her ability to pick something up and put it through is pretty incredible.
Well, her role as a centre, and a lot of the time in modern footy, the centre is just your third inside midfielder. Liesi is an expert at standing behind the play, reading it, and then being the clearance point, if you will. So really, that's just the forward craft version of what she does in the middle of the field. Read the play ahead of time.
UQ's defence, though, has been good. I think they're just lacking that ability to really clear it and get some momentum. I feel that they're getting just a little bit bogged down.
Think of reasons for that in a moment. As Garton's doing well in the ruck. Anstey's not getting slaughtered. Far from it. That's called a throw. Free kick. Liessi's allowed to play on. McCormick did well at the back. Was able to put a lot of pressure on McDonough. Again, just not able to clear. And there's a big cluster around the ball. Back towards the goalpost. The shot is off target. Forgive me for missing the kicker, but that's Aspley's first miss of the day. Might have been O'Flaherty. Happy to be corrected.
So Aspley have kicked 2 in this term. UQ just the one behind. They traditionally dominated this matchup. That's a little bit better. Again, using that wing, that's exactly what they need. But Anstey, speaking of ruck, she's had a great game. Really taking control, and her leadership on field has been awesome. No
one who's seen her play is surprised, as McDonough took that in lots of space, rather. There was no one around her, which to me suggests a bit of miscommunication in the defensive line. Andrews on the mark. McDonough looks for the option, saw the lead of Vetter. In the end, fell to a teammate over the top. This is going to be walked in. Welcome back to the QAFLW, Lilu Hung. Now, that was a disorganised UQ defence, I think we have to say. I don't think they're rattled, but Aspley were able to unlock it. First of all, with the mark to McDonough, and then secondly, Vetter got a very big run. It wasn't her who took the mark, but then it was knocked into space, and, well, Lilu Hung looked like she just turned up at a park to kick a ball on a Sunday morning.
And this is looking a lot more like the Aspley we saw last year, especially towards that back end in finals time. They're looking confident. A lot of trust. I think Anstey is directing, as I said before, play really well across the field.
That looks like a blood bin. So possibly Gracie Roy. Still learning the newer players. Yes, Gracie Roy comes off. Jane Childs comes on. That looks like it's just a Vaseline job, but wasn't flowing. Leona Jones all over it. Pengelly moved into the ruck. They've got a few options. Pushing off the ball, UQ with a relieving free kick. They have to make this count. There's Laura Roy in the middle of the park. Looks for an option, wobbly kick. Ernst has been eating those for breakfast for the last 12 years.
Weren't any options coming forward? There was a lot of clearing, a lot of sideways movement, but none of the options were a clear target.
Perry will go out wide, found the run of Lanigan. Lanigan looked for a safe kick. It was a 50-50. It was the right option. Just goes behind Henning. She's not under a huge amount of pressure. Looking for Dawson, couldn't find her. Moyle's got a bit of running to do. In fact, that was Laura Roy. Liessi chipping over the top. Coming from behind was Stallard. She went without it. Still hope for Aspley. They're trying to extract the pill from the contest. They won't mind the ball up in that position at all. Henning got it to the side, couldn't find the run of Dawson. Henning doing everything she can, just can't connect with teammates at the moment. In the end, the tackle from Knife was enough to bring proceedings to a halt, joined by Laura Roy. Well picked off by McDonough. Goes back to Liessi. Was thinking about a fourth. Maybe that'll come later. Shearing cleaned up very well. Played for the Brisbane Lions in pre-AFLW days when they had exhibition matches. Very highly regarded player in the mid-2010s. Garton went without it. The work on the ground from, I think, Sartor. A lot of effort, quadruple effort. But it is messy just inside the 50. Push in the back, spotted. And Aspley have a chance to relaunch. Now, Liessi with a hat-trick under her belt may just like her chances from here. There's no wind.
I'd love to see her do it.
Well, it won't reach the goal. She's looking for a teammate. Hung Stallard, apologies. Forgive me, I'm looking through 2 layers of glass here. But Jess Stallard has the mark. And if you're the kind of old-time footy fan who likes big, strong, full forwards who lead and then kick goals in a traditional manner, Jess Stallard is someone whose poster you'll want. It's a 24-point lead for Aspley on a very accurate night for goal kicking. On the board for 2024, it was always likely Jess Stallard. Four goals to zip in the second quarter, second quarter, Hannah.
Yeah, that's huge, and possibly at this stage maybe starting to rattle UQ, I think, particularly in that defensive end. I think their forwards have been pretty good, mid is good, but I think the defence just a little bit overwhelmed at the moment by Aspley, who it's very congested, it's very busy, but I think Aspley are just able to kind of, the decision making is what's making the difference to me right now.
Garton hasn't stopped trying, hasn't stopped working, and generally speaking wins. Alana Perry done a lot of work in the middle of the contest. The ball's often gone before I get a chance to say her name, but she's stepped back like she was never away. Anstey does well. Got it to an opponent in Childs. Went underneath Crowley Long, who's moved up the centre half forward. Good work from Middleton. Inside, lovely step from Laura Roy. Roy from a fair way out, looking for Decker. Thompson got front position. Thompson did brilliantly on the ground. Won a 1-on-3. We think the siren's gone slightly early, but that's no concern of ours. Aspley, big second quarter.
Massive, and they'll take a 30-point lead into half-time. Aspley 7-1, 43 to UQ 2-1, 13. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back very soon.
Inside this building is a simulated hospital ward, a high-tech biomechanics lab, a commercial kitchen, and a whole virtual home. Let's explore the new Bond Institute of Health and Sport in just 61 seconds. This is the 12-bed simulation hospital ward. From day one, Bond students gain hands-on experience in allied health and exercise science. This is the Work Play Lab, which gives students the opportunity to provide occupational therapy for our youngest, while the Activities of Daily Living Lab simulates a full home environment, giving students the chance to practice mobility work with our wisest. From sprinting to golf swings, this track can track it. Using pressure sensors and high-speed cameras, it can analyze anything from age-related conditions to elite sports training. Wow. The kitchen lab has solar-powered sustainable cooking stations, giving postgrad nutrition and dietetic students access to commercial-grade equipment.
Thank you.
Why don't you come and check out the Bond Institute of Health and Sport for yourself? Did you know Bond students have been in every Olympics since '92? How do they do it? I've got 61 seconds to race you through the life of a student in the Bond Elite Sport program. Strap in. Bond is known for its prowess in the sporting domain, supporting student athletes like Mia. Student athletes have access to flexible study loads, adjusted academic requirements, and tutoring. The top tier of student athletes even receive funding to assist with their travel and competition costs. Bond also runs 4 high-performance sporting programs that field competitive teams. There's netball, rugby, AFL, and swimming. With incredible facilities throughout campus, it means you can easily transition from this to this. Whether it's producing world-class athletes or offering scholarships to high-achieving students every single year, sport is alive and well at Bond University.
Welcome back to the second half of round one of the Bond University QAFLW. It's the Aspley Hornets at home taking on the University of Queensland. And so far, the Hornets take a 30-point lead. It was a dominant second quarter for the home side. Daniel Viles, who were our goal kickers?
Well, Lucia Liesi is the hero of the day so far. She's got a hat-trick. Izzy McDonough scored the first two for Aspley, and then there have been singles to Lilu Hung and Jess Stallard. The first two goals of the match went to the Red Lionesses, scored by Lauren Middleton and Coco Garton.
So the underdogs right now are UQ. They've come into this competition, sorry, not competition, this matchup right now as historically the favourites. They've won, I think it's 9, and Aspley only 1. And Aspley have actually never beat UQ at home. And I think right now it's Aspley's forwards that I think are winning the battle against UQ's defence. It's UQ, they've got a little bit less experience. I think the transition just needs some building. How have you seen it?
Well, you're right. I mean, anytime you get new personnel, it can take a little while to work as a unit. And I think one of the great things about Aussie rules at every level in the past 20, 30 years has been that it's no longer just 15 one-on-one contests around the ground. Now you've got to play as a unit. Annalise McNeary and Gracie Roy come very highly regarded, and they haven't made all the mistakes today either. I'm not picking on those two. But we have seen miscommunication at the back. Last year, Lucy McCormick played mostly as a centre half-back. This year, she's dropped back, and they're almost playing two full-backs, Henning and McCormick at the back. I guess technically one's a back pocket. But there have been a few times when they just haven't had the instinct of who's running where, and that's probably cost them, I think, 2 goals in that quarter. So I think that's simply going to be something that takes a long time to, well, sorry, not a long time, but at least a few weeks to gel. Alarm bells may be ringing for this match, but not for the season.
No, I think you're right. I don't think the season at all. We mentioned at the start of this match that there's been some outs, and I think, like all seasons, a lot of player movement. I think as well they're coming up against some forwards for Aspley that are having a particularly good game, and Louise Tyson has had an incredible pre-season. She's definitely gone to another level so far, and Lilu Hung as well has really impressed me so far in this game. And Jessica Davey as well, in the midfield. I think she's helping that transition down, and of course Anstey in the ruck. Well, she's just intellectually a goddess of this game. I think the work she's doing to coordinate her team, I think she's really helping them win that battle as well. I'm
so pleased that people like yourself who are newer to the QAFLW get to see someone like Rachel Anstey play. She's a radiologist by profession. She's a very, very smart cookie off the field. But on the field, you're right. We were talking during the halftime break that we haven't really needed to see big performances overall from people like Lucy Thompson and Anna Vanderweel, because every time the ball comes towards them, Anstey goes, "I've got this." And it just sends it straight back. And very good point you make about the Aspley forwards is that any indecision in the UQ backline, absolutely punished.
I think Roy and Henning and McCormick, in that full-back lineup have been having a great game. I think collectively I'd like to see them step up a little bit, maybe a bit more talking. I think maybe that communication is where they're falling down. I'm not sure. There's heaps of potential though, because, in the first few minutes of this match, UQ came out of the blocks firing. So they've clearly got the ability there. It's just finding that groove again. And hopefully Clayfield's been able to have some good words in this half-time and get the girls pumped up again.
I see Bridie Condren's gone to full forward. I might ask you, Hannah, if you can have a look to the left of the screen. Jessie Henning looks to be setting up. And in fact, Erin Gilbert, they've completely changed formation. I'm going to look at the middle of the field. If you can explain what's going on as UQ running to the right of screen again. But yes, Condren, I believe, has gone to full forward. The defensive line looks different. I'll look in the middle, Hannah. Tell us what you do some reconnaissance. Third quarter, Zups Aspley Oval, round one of the Bond University QAFLW. Aspley by 30. Laura Roy gets the first clearance. Straight to a contest, doesn't clear the middle, the centre square, that's what I'm trying to say, as Alana Perry decides to pounce on the ball, knowing that she'll be flattened. McCormick has come up to centre halfback. Going back to a slightly older structure is UQ, a bit more familiar. O'Flaherty knocked it down. Just a stoppage, pretty much on the 50. In fact, that was Kawa. Sorry, I see a ribbon in an Aspley jersey, and I assume it's O'Flaherty, but Jasmine Kawa wears one as well and has been brilliant behind the contest today. Got it up forward, was looking for Evie Long. Haven't seen too much of her today, simply because the ball hasn't gone in her direction, but she will have her moments. Good work from Neary, who's playing a little bit further forward. I'll see exactly where she's playing in the structure a bit later. Garton just got the fumble fingers at the wrong moment. Some good shepherding work, however. Helped Laura Roy through the middle. Was heading for Crowley Long and Middleton. Pengelly, terrific at the back. I did have an opposition coach tell me last year that the most important defender for Aspley is Pengelly, who's just won a free kick because of the structure they play. And when you consider who else was in their back line, that's a big rap. Pengelly comes to this western side of the ground. Anstey has conceded the free kick. I think the umpire just didn't realise how monumentally... Anstey's made of concrete, in short. Ernst. In fact, it was McDonough, apologies. Got it to Liesi. Thumping towards Stallard. Stallard versus McCormick. Interesting battle. McCormick did well. Just got the handball away before Stallard was able to get onto her. And UQ away. Turned it over. Pengelly will return with interest.
So back in their fullback position is now Erin Gilbert. It looks like her and Gracie Roy, just down the other end, are kind of moving between them. Both pushing back pretty far.
As Alana Perry wins a free kick against Ashley Moyle. Good pickup. And Erin Gilbert, usually a halfback flanker. Let's see what she can do at fullback. I'm intrigued. Coming in the side, goes to McDonough. McDonough a fair way out, but she certainly has a raking kick on her. Looked for the run of Hung, and it fell back towards Gracie Roy, who was able to clear on her left foot. A two-footed player has a second go. Aerial with the left foot. O'Flaherty was closest. Hung working hard. Hung and O'Flaherty combined well. There was pushing off the ball. And the Red Lionesses have a chance to clear through Sator.
And that was all because of Gracie Roy. She pushed her opposition way up and forced a bit of pressure on Aspley. They didn't have that clear run like they normally do.
Turnover to Perry, but I think your point in the moment was absolutely correct, Hannah. Perry looking for options ahead. Looked for McDonough. Not able to find her. Well done by Moyle. Sorry, Laura Roy. It's round one, Daniel. Get it right by next month. His play on was called, and then it's just going to be a ball up. As Laura Ernst gets used to the rough and tumble of this comp again. I'm going to say she's missed it. She may deny it. I think she's missed it. And hello to 2022 Premiership winner Laura Ernst, if you're watching. So UQ turned it around, but without any great structure. As Vanderweel was brought down. And O'Connor had players wrapped around her and then suddenly didn't. Took the opportunity to propel it forward. O'Flaherty went for the no-look kick, and that's usually what happens. Garton cleans up, playing behind the play like any good ruck should. Taking lessons from Anstey on the run. Good decoy run. Garton wasn't quite able to make the most of it. They've still got numbers around the contest. As Roy was able to get it forward towards Walkawa, the opponent. Piunti on the ground. Not able to wrap it up, turned it over. And Aspley again handballing beautifully out of traffic. Perry fumbled and recovered. And again, the handball chain works wonders. Pengelly looking for Bryant. Took a weird bounce that ended up with Hargraves. And the free kick's gone behind to, I think, Piunti. Piunti keeps it central. Probably to about a 2-on-6. I'm not convinced that was the right option. But it's happened. And in the end, I think that's Middleton down underneath the pack who was last with it. It was Middleton. Played her 50th top grade game in the last round of last year. Former Callum Vale Jr. Anstey in space. Has Bryant to her left. Bryant held it. Oh! Nothing deliberate there.
Jane Child's just floating a little bit here in the defence. Might have been a direction from Clayfield to kind of pick up any scraps.
She'll be one of the fastest players on the field. As Moyle had it tackled away from her. Good clean up from Laura Roy, this time on her right foot. Clears the defence. It bounces past O'Connor. Decker working hard, but in the end, dealing with 3 Hornets was too much. Play allowed to continue. Little scrappy at the moment. Good body position from Evie Long. Shoering, brought to ground by Kawa. Cleaned up by McDonough. Aspley looking for the one-on-one contest. Stallard was able to get away from Andrews, but not able to take the mark. Andrews found her target. There's been a free kick to UQ. It's just a case of whether it's paid where the kick was or where it landed.
So Erin Gilbert comes off and on comes Julia Dawson. Will slot into that halfback position. So already...
Halfback or fullback?
I'm not sure yet.
Interesting.
We'll have a look and see if she swings down deep. But already a great improvement from UQ's defence.
Aspley turn it over just as the defence is praised. That's how it works. Good work at the back from Dawson. In fact, I've misidentified, but good work at the back from UQ.
That's Gracie Roy.
It was.
So she's already having a great impact there.
Moving back, a halfback with Morningside over the past few years. And the kick of Hung is charged down. Outside the 50, Aspley with a third repeat entry. Gone to Liesi.
So again, Childs, she's just taking that extra roll down there. And I think it's just creating a little bit of confusion for the Hornets.
Yeah, hasn't been able to repel them so far. Liesi lets rip. That's awful. She'll have better chances later. Takes a weird bounce. It's gone back in front of goal. Cleared by UQ. Good work in the left back pocket. The sun is well and truly set here at Zumps Aspley Oval. Pengelly was just knocked as she was bending down to pick up the ball. Andrews gathered and kicked in the one movement. Condren tried to weave through traffic. Middleton did well as well, but look at the number of Hornets around. And I think in that camera shot, it's about a 4-on-8. Twice as many numbers at the ball for the Hornets. Evie Long got it forward. Lilu Hong. Terrific work. Gracie Roy thought she got fingers to it, and maybe she did, but that's a mark every day of the week. There are AFLW coaches excited about Lilu Hung because not only has she got the physical attributes of being tall and strong, but then you look at the skill set. Let's see her in the QAFLW first. Hung looked strong off the boot. She's celebrating for the second time today.
So the Hornets seem possibly unbothered so far by the increase or the step up in UQ's defence.
Childs is one of the quickest players in the competition, so having her floating back usually means you don't lose anything in attack because she's quick enough and fit enough to be able to join the attack when it goes forward. Again, it seems to be organisation at the moment, but again, look at what's coming at them. I don't think, a couple of times I've focused on the UQ defence where I probably should have focused more on the Aspley forwards.
Yeah, there was no stopping Lilu in that contest just then. That's just pure athleticism.
She's a gun. Back of the contest was Sartor. Goes underneath Pionti. Ernst back inside her own 50. She's lost no pace. Tackle without the ball, and Aspley will have a chance to clear. Again, what every footy coach wants is you have a go and you put in. If you give away the occasional non-violent free kick, so be it. Thompson has the ball for the first time in about half an hour. She won't mind.
That's a great switch, isn't it? Super classy from the Hornets.
She kicks very precisely, does Thompson. It's a long enough kick, but not the longest, as Kawa will continue down the eastern side. Big woman fly. Condren does well. Breaks away. That kick was a little scuffed, but not bad. Pionzi is the world's shortest centre-half forward at the moment. Crowley Long hooks it around on the left. That's beautiful vision. Looks like Garton has the shot. That's through. There is plenty of fight in the UQ outfit, as I believe it's Coco Garton has her second for the night. something when you look through the scorecards of a lot of the early years in the QAFLW, by whatever name it's been under, you do see far too many 150 to 0 or 120 to 1 score lines. Teams didn't fight back then, or didn't have the ability to fight back. Let's not pretend it was hard. They just didn't have the skill level. It's a much more even competition now, and I love it when you see a gutsy goal like that.
It is, and I think a bit of a credit to our coaches too. They really take on whatever's happened in the first half. I mean, UQ have come out looking pretty different. Aspley, like we said, unbothered a little bit, but already big improvements from UQ.
Evie Long got the fumbles just outside the 50, but recovered very well. Inside to Davey, dribbles it inside 50. Stallard versus Henning. That's worth the price of admission if there was one. Schuring helping at the back. Ball up 40 from goal.
So Henning's rested for a little bit, but now back on against Stallard. I wonder if that was always the intention, to push her up a little bit.
Barnett re-enters the fray. Condren used her height and body position excellently. Wasn't able to create the clearance on that occasion, but she keeps doing that. She'll have a real key role in this side. They're starting to get on top of the rucks. Handball's not connecting, but they did get a push in the back, so Henning will have a chance to clear. Or rather, it will come back to Neary. Plays wide well. Keeping it wide, which is not a bad thing in the circumstances when you're this far down. Anstey showing that she can do the rough work as well as the spectacular work. Extracted, well done from Laura Roy. Big raps on her. Lanigan read that well. Got ahead of Decker. Anticipated superbly. Inside to Davey, who made a good lead. Ahead of Barnett. Davey kicks to the pack. Henning was behind it. Perry had to go sideways. Nearly cut off by Crowley Long. To Long. Long towards the pocket. Stallard in front, just misjudged it. The floodlight over in that corner is a little bit dodgy. Runs around her opponent, absolutely burns Dawson. Stallard misses to the right. That would have been goal of the year nomination territory had she landed that one. Third behind of the evening against 11 goals. The answer is no one. As we're heading towards the clubhouse boundary. Inside, that's a good lead from Vetter. We haven't seen much of her, but you don't need to. She's like a football striker in that she'll turn up and do two brilliant things for you in a game. And she's worth her weight. And she's not much of her. She's worth twice her weight. She's worth my weight. Rachel Vetter in the left forward pocket. Leading goal kicker of the comp 2 years ago. Doesn't open her account just yet. Chance to clear down the left. UQ trying to look composed. The pressure from Aspley's been relentless. They are charging at the UQ defence like they're defenders themselves. Dawson didn't have a chance to get a free swing at the ball. Tyson looking in the middle. The target, I think, might have been Stallard. It was Henning. Came off her boot. She was skillful. Vetter over the back to Liesi. Liesi looking for the run of Davey. Davey running through like a leaguey. Went on the ground in front of Perry. Bryant working hard. Not sure whether she's named wing or half forward, but Bryant has much more attacking role, and it's suiting her. Not that the others didn't.
Jessie Henning just throwing everything she has to stop the onslaught of Aspley.
Condren took everyone away from the ball on that occasion. Tyson went without it. Cleared by Laura Roy. Pionti's done well. Stepped inside Lanigan. Had to kick to a contest. And the fist from Ernst was expert. Davey looked wide, found Bryant. That kind of precision's been the difference tonight. Inside to Liesi. I think this is outside her range. Prove me wrong, Luch. Has a crack from way out. The goal square is relatively empty. Tyson looking for crumbs. Back inside, looking for Stallard. Stallard's off target, but I don't think that was genuinely a shot. Little Hung again. Before today, 4 career goals in this competition. Only played 1 match last year. She was injured in round 1. But a potential hat-trick in round 1. A genuine key position player, can play centre-half back, playing centre-half forward tonight, has clunked 2 wonderful contested marks in this quarter. I built you up, Lily. You really got to finish those off when I'm giving you the big run, honestly.
So Hennings pushed back again.
Going down the left side is UQ. Again, Aspley just rushing every possession. Shuring tackled off it by Long with the yellow ribbon. Inside 50, Stallard couldn't believe how much space she had. This will be on the edge of her range. But I think with a 31-point lead, this is the time to get the butterflies out of the way. Have a crack. Or if you see a really easy target inside, just show the commentator how much more intellectual you are than he gave you credit for. McDonough scored Aspley's first 2 goals. An opportunity to join Lucia Liesi with a hat-trick this evening. It's a good kicking style McDonough has. Misses again. Maybe a bit of fatigue setting in. It's a humid night. It's round 1. These are fit athletes, but they're not as fit as they're going to be later in the year once they're more match hardened. I mean, Aspley haven't been behind halfway for a very long time. In some ways, that's their own doing because they've missed a couple of set shots, but still. Bit under 2 minutes left in this quarter. Tyson fumbling forward. Went without the ball. Gilbert turning in circles. McDonough grabbed her. McDonough's been outstanding. Definitely belongs at this level. Will play for the Lions Academy and possibly Queensland under-18s this year. Commentators cursed. That's entirely my fault. UQ semi-cleared. Davey wasn't quite able to grab the ball, but got a repeat inside 50 and a stoppage 45 out.
You're not wrong, Daniel. McDonough's had an incredible game so far. Huge star power. Her speed and confidence to take on contests has been terrific.
Shuring, if there is any moisture on the ball, it'd be sweat because the rain has not come as McDonough yet again takes a mark. Again outside her range. Tyson's in a bit of space. Going across the face of goal. Beats everyone. There was a bit of pushing in the contest beforehand. Henning went for a dive. That's all clear. That's a goal. And I don't think there was a hand on it. That's McDonough's third. I've seen worse introductions to the QAFLW. Sorry, Hannah.
No, what a way. I was about to pretty much echo that. What a way to come into the next league. Sandgate's junior player. Yeah, it's just the way she's stepped up to this level has been incredible.
And we should give a shout out to the Jindalee and Kenmore junior clubs as well, where one of her teammates was Jasmine Decker. And they were having a good old natter before the game. I was, hoping they were secretly enemies, but no, they're both really nice people. It was disappointing. There won't be time for the restart. 2-1 in that quarter, but there's no question which team dominated. The Aspley Hornets on their way to the 4 points.
Well, only one more term to fight back now for UQ, trailing 9-3-57 to 3-1-19. It's not over yet. We've got one more quarter to go, and we'll be back soon.
First of all, yes, it does. Although, now, sorry, you quite rightly, like when I stood up, you couldn't get here. And so I was trying to move back. side, and it's just, I just couldn't get it. So, the good news is that if you ever talk to somebody who's in Titanium, if you've only ever commentated on luxurious conditions, you can't recommend it. It's like we used to go up to, we would stand on a lone single car on fire with a pipe behind us with a hose and film the whole day from there. What's that? We're supposed to be on staff, but with the weather report, they thought the staff might sick, so they moved us out here.
It's all smiles for the Aspley Hornets as they take the field for the final term of their round one clash against UQ in their steady lead, 9-4, 58 to 3-1, 19. It's been a terrific second term and a great third term as well for the side. UQ, an improved third term, I would say, but still trying to make up from that second quarter where Aspley managed to get 5 goals on them.
And I think the story of the third quarter was Aspley's forward pressure. That UQ tried some things, as you very well picked up on, Hannah. But Aspley just had too many players around the ball too often. But both coaches want a 4-quarter effort. If either side turns off the faucet now, you're an Australian, Daniel, turns off the tap now, there will be hell to pay during the week.
Coco Gutton from UQ returns to the ruck for this final term, or the start of at least.
Got the better of Anstey in that last ruck. Good work from Childs through the middle. Moyles worked hard, and Perry wins the free kick. Relentless play. Looked for the run of Pengelly, and a good second effort from Moyle. But Tyson was able to clean up the crumbs. She goes inside 50. McCormick beaten to the contest. Back outside 50, but Aspley maintaining possession, so McCormick can take some credit for pushing Stallard a long way back. Forwards who tackle make coaches smile. For the record, Luke Glacken's to my right, and he didn't smile. You get the idea. Anstey challenging. It was a neutralised ruck. Bryant had first hands on the pill. Davey had a lot of pressure on. That's pretty skillful. Can't call that deliberate. That is a boundary throw-in on the 50. To whatever we knew about Jess Davey before, we can now add agility. Anstey got the ball onto the head, I suspect, of her teammate in Davey. Tackle went 360, certainly didn't go 15 the kick. And we are bogged down in the southwestern corner near the scoreboards, plural. Fiona Jones with the restart. Anstey takes it uncontested. Laura Roy got in the way, wasn't able to take the ball with her. 4 stoppages. In a weird way, this is encouraging for UQ, Hannah.
They're certainly continuing to have a stronger effect here in their defensive half. They're slowing Aspley down.
As Perry just had a kick charge down, so they've advanced the ball without necessarily creating an opportunity. But UQ able to keep it wide.
And this is a good little win for them here.
Boundary thrown in front of the change rooms. Garton got the hit out, but not the clearance. As again, Aspley move it forward by any means possible. Garton with the outside of the boot, gets it back towards the 50. I think it was Gracie Roy who was just pushed off at Aspley. Regain. Pengelly inside to Perry, who's been outstanding tonight. Bryant, who's been equally outstanding. When Luke Glacken names his 6 best players, lovely slips catch from Ernst. Not a mark because it didn't go 15, but the skill level was high. Out towards, I believe that's Davey. Try again, Kawa. Kawa just takes a straight route to goal. That's one of the best defensive marks we've seen today, and it's Jane Childs, who's not exactly a giant.
No, she's had a great impact down as that spare player in the 50.
And to know that UQ can play a +1 against the stronger sides, it is limiting the damage tonight. Middleton has worked hard, goes wide, found the run of Hargraves. Not able to quite get it to boot as there's friendly fire between O'Connor and Ernst. Middleton tackled strongly by Thompson. Hargraves still working tirelessly. First game for UQ after transferring from Cooperoo. And she's looked very energetic tonight. Good passage of play from the students.
I just want to point something out that Thompson did, and she's one of my favourite defenders, but she brought Bridie Condren completely out, nearly to that centre square. And so even as UQ were charging down, there was just no options.
Been around a while, Thompson, and I never would have guessed she was one of your favourites.
Never.
Got to be more expressive, Hannah. Ball up 60 out as Daniel turns the sarcasm off for a moment. Been a very good first round performance from Aspley, but on the charge now, Laura Roy off target and beautiful stepping out of defence from Eloise O'Connor. Got it back to the 50. Garton looking to cause the turnover. Crowley Long, second effort on the ground. She's been making second efforts for again over a decade, again repeating the happy birthdays to Rachel Anstey and Maddie Crowley Long. From the Zilmere sides of the early 2010s. Great to see them still gracing the QAFLW, the Bond University QAFLW. It was good reading of the play from Gracie Roy. It was just pushed off it at the last moment. Gilbert had it pushed away from her. Barnett towards just behind centre half forward. The work from Sartor has been strong. This might be the first game in history where she hasn't had a bounce. She's normally very happy to run through the middle and have a bounce, Eva Sartor, but the space has been shut down by the Hornets tonight. Scrappy passage of play. Ends with Laura Roy. Was looking for Decker and Condren. The pressure from the Aspley defence was tremendous. Crowley Long is backwards. Yeah, kicked in danger. That was a little bit of ill discipline from, I think, Lanigan. So Crowley Long will have a chance to check. In fact, it was Davey, not Lanigan. Apologies, Morgan. Condren on the lead, did everything right except catch it. Middleton on her left foot. That was touched in flight. Thompson with the punch. Aspley did enough, and in fact what they did through the touch and Thompson was quite brilliant.
And conversely, Aspley are also playing with the spare there too. Thompson at times quite free, and she's able to take that front space from Condren.
Shearing comes in off the bench. Lands in no woman's land. Kawa. The handballing out of defence hasn't been as precise as it was at the end of last year, but it's probably better than it was at the beginning of last year for Aspley, so they're not starting from zero. UQ putting the pressure on, but again, they're outnumbered in their own forward area. And I guess when you're this far down, you can't really afford to push up too high. But a stoppage, maybe 15 from goal.
You see Jane Childs down there. She is covering all ends of this field.
She missed her footy the year that she couldn't play. That moved about a centimetre, and we'll have another ball up from Leona Jones.
Just got a UQ player running off with one of the trainers. I'll let you know who that is when I can.
Condren came off her ankle in the end. It's not quite the idea of rucking. Pengelly flicks it out wide. And that was a kind of non-deliberate deliberate, or possibly a deliberate non-deliberate. Either way, it worked.
Ashley Moyle from UQ's just come off looking a little tender. And Harriet Knife comes on to replace her.
So less size, more speed is the end result there. Fell to Laura Roy. Not able to get space. And in fact, they've cleared through Davey. Bryant doesn't need much space. Took plenty. Found Stallard back. The 1-2 with Bryant. Bryant on the left foot. Looking for McDonough. Just slipped through the hands. Gilbert. That's tremendous under the circumstances from Gilbert. Garton was a stationary target. Apologies, that was Knife. Turned over. Good hands from Laura Roy. Sartor through the middle. Brought to ground by Tyson. Sorry, that was Childs. Childs' hair is darker than last year. Towards the boundary. Doesn't go out. And again, Aspley, the counter-attack didn't quite work before, but about every third one does, and that's part of what's been hurting UQ tonight. In the upset win that UQ had here last July or so, the third quarter was dominated by Aspley everywhere except the scoreboard, and in fact UQ won that quarter with a late goal. It's been the reverse story tonight. Aspley have been able to absorb pressure for as long as they've needed to, which hasn't always been that long, and still finished the quarter ahead on the scoreboard. Gracie Roy is looking for Gilbert, found her. The tackle from Kawa. And Tallis has it over the boundary. Yeah, I need to talk to Aspley about all these yellow ribbons. Not helping. I always talk about the big issues. Liesi, back to Anstey. Both of them created space for each other. Garton said, well, the ball's on the ground. I'm going to kick the thing. It's a beautiful handball inside, I think, from Vanderweel. Henning through the middle. Route 1, why not? Looking for Barnett. Barnett and Piunti just didn't communicate. I feel one of them could have taken the mark if the other one had known to protect.
Got a feel for Henning. She's come out real deep into the field here, just hoping to pull something out of the bag for UQ. Not to be yet, and Garton just gets in the air.
And for once, Aspley don't have a player there to contest the mark. Laura Roy, good mark under pressure. Plenty of physical pressure, but Jasmine Decker, that's pretty much why she's been moved forward. That's the first time it's worked tonight. But 2024 is a 14-round season plus finals. Yes, Annie Shoering, it's not a 50 because she's a teammate, but she did sort of run in the protected area. And so Leona Jones was quite right to pull it up. Decker. Looks okay. May fall just short. Marked on the line, Bridie Condren. Her first QAFLW goal, probably her first goal in footy.
And the physical battle she was enduring down there with several Aspley defenders. It's only, 20 seconds before she kicked that, she was rolling on the floor. I think she'd accidentally been, or maybe not accidentally, I'm not sure, shoved over.
It's never accidental, but we always say it's accidental.
I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but yeah, the pressure she was under, and Aspley have also been playing with a bit of a spare down there too. She did really well to hold her ground, and in a way I'm actually not surprised, because that is prime netball real estate, is holding your ground.
I think what we've learned about UQ tonight is that the combination of Garton in the ruck and Condren up forward seems to be more successful than the other way round.
Absolutely.
Mind you, two good options to have.
Also 2 goals from Garton, so she can do both.
That's a point. Yeah, I think I need to, what's the word? Stop talking. Back on the field is Ashley Moyle. Good to see. Sorry, that was the point you were about to make, Hannah. So UQ inside 50, just dominating the last few stages. That's the kind of desperate tackle they weren't making earlier. And they're finishing well.
And my point for UQ is just making sure they've got someone in that square. And if someone does come out, you need that rotation.
And I missed that it was Jane Childs, but no one is surprised. Doesn't get a lot of set shots, so I don't actually know what her distance is. I know that she makes some very long passes when she's playing on the wing. We're about to learn something about Jane Childs. Well, it's flat. Coming from the back was Decker. Nearly fell to Barnett. She was pulled off the ball without it, and that has been awarded. You suspect it's too little too late, but winning fourth quarters, if you're going to lose the 4 points, at least finish very strongly. And as soon as that came off the boot, the hands went straight to the mouth of Elka Barnett. Has to play out to Lanigan. She's a bit like Sally Young. We'll call her NASA because she's always in space.
Aspley traditionally love doing this switch on the far side. It is just where they feel comfortable.
I think that was Evie Long at the back. Turned over to Garton. Garton gave herself a bit of space, looking for the target of Decker. Got front position, couldn't get the mark. Barnett following up. Aspley's been good enough to bring it to ground and cause the stoppage.
Jamie Bryant back on for Evie Long in these final minutes, injecting a bit of speed.
And that was Eloise O'Connor who did the good work in defence, caused the stoppage. Went back to Liesi, had a very hot first half. Regaining possession, Shoering. Shoering from a fair way out, not an angle. Went into the pocket, Ernst. Condren, inside Piunti, wanted more space than was available, mowed down from behind, but wins the free kick for in the back. Been a few first goal scorers here tonight. Monique Piunti could be about to join them. Shout out to the Victoria Point Footy Club. Monique Piunti, her moment will come. And in fact, I mixed her up with someone else. She hasn't played for Victoria Point. She's played for Bond University Netball.
A little bit different skills there.
Yeah, look, I do my research. And occasionally it comes out order and wrong there. Thompson into the pocket. Thompson to Lanigan. Go back to previous scene, press play again. Moyle, good to see her back on the field. Tough cookie. Garton's been superb, getting in the action. I think that was Pionzi who took a tumble. It was, but she's up. Centre click really into nowhere. Good body work from Pionzi. Childs. Childs deserves a goal. It's over the contest. Hits hands. And Thompson, like a conjurer, just pulled it out of nowhere. Prevented the goal. McNiven chases her own kick. Did very well before it got to Anstey. McNiven's one of those players who improves every time I've seen her. Of course, she's played a grand final now. If that doesn't give her confidence, it should. Flying Anstey goes for the photo shot, and I hope there was one. Garton, one of UQ's best tonight. Pionzi went without it, but magnificent effort. Looked almost balletic in flight. And that switch of play in plenty of space now, Aspley, and Bryant is quick. Was shut down by Shuring, had to get moving. Gracie Roy did well to propel it back. McDonough can do the work defensively. Kick charge down. Good work from Gracie Roy. Triple effort from Gracie Roy. Good signing from Morningside. UQ on top these last 10 minutes or so. As Neary helps, I think, Roy to her feet. Neary in the action. Had Perry near her. Perry's been excellent in her comeback game. Good tackle. Kept the hands low. Did Harriet Knife. Very skillful tackle. Ball up in front of us. 3 minutes remaining.
Vanderweel back on.
Tremendous comeback year last year, Anna Vanderweel. Garton's been winning the majority of the rucks in this quarter. Tyson did brilliantly at the back. Bryant's been outstanding.
It's
on
that signature sidestep from Bryant.
Oh. As McCormick cleans up at the back. Ooh. That's one of those ones that can be called a sling or holding. It's been called holding, and Li Lu Hung has the free kick. Goes centrally, outnumbered in the contest. Henning got the fist to the ball. Tackled inside 50. Definitely no prior opportunity. Aspley getting it forward by means conventional and otherwise. Bryant couldn't prevent it from going out. 32-point win as the reserves teams are getting ready to take the field in a few minutes' time. Aspley came within a whisker of making both grand finals last year. In fact, at the start of the day, you would have considered them more likely to make the reserves than first grade. They're not disappointed at how it turned out. Good turnover from UQ. Knife has been excellent in parts. She did play for Victoria Point, I know that much. Lanigan with a through ball reminiscent of another sport. Liesi had it pickpocketed on the ground. Laura Roy, Tiana Ernst. It's one of the most open parts of the game we've had in the last few minutes. Tyson, been very influential tonight. Be very interested to see who the coaches put in their best six lists. That'll be available on Play HQ. And we'll also have a round review available for you hopefully on Monday, which will have all the results there as well. Kawa, impressive return to QAFLW today. Davey as well. Ernst. Laura Roy brought to ground with Ashley Moyle over the top. Pengelly, when she's been required tonight, she's been good, but hasn't always been needed tonight, which is kind of what you want your defenders to have. Vanderweel pressured by Barnett. Good work from Decker. Put it forward, just couldn't get it to the loose player forward, who I think is Condren. Aspley will clean up. Ernst to Anstey. Sorry, to Davey. Knife did well. Pengelly did well. Not quite cleaned up at the back from Andrews. 17 seconds left. I'm trying to think of my, if not a 3-2-1, at least a best on ground, Hannah, and I'm delighted to say I'm having trouble because it's been that sort of game.
I have been racking my brain to think of who has been best on. There's been so many great performances across both teams, really. As it brings us to the end, the final siren of our first match of the round for the 2024 Bond University QAFLW. The Aspley Hornets will take the Chocolates 9-4-58 against UQ 4-3-27.
I'll just give the goal kickers quickly. And so for Aspley, their 9 goals, 3 to Izzy McDonough, 3 to Lucia Liesi, and then singles to, 2 to Lilu Hung and 1 to Jess Stallard. Coco Garton kicked 2 for the University of Queensland, 1 each to Lauren Middleton and Bridie Condren. I don't think there was someone who really dominated the game for all 4 quarters, but I feel that when the game was there to be won and Aspley made their move, it was probably Jessica Davey who was big in those moments. But I also, once again, we like our tools. There's a certain romanticism to saying Rachel Anstey was best on ground. I don't know whether she was or she wasn't, but I'm just compelled that way because of the work she did to maintain Aspley's attacks when they were killing the game off in that 4-0 second quarter. So they're the players I have in my mix. Did you do any better, Hannah?
Look, I also wrote down Anstey's name. I think I've spoken about her leadership, and I feel like it's a really underrated part of particularly women's footy is how much those skills and that footy IQ can lift a game. Someone I'm staring at right now that I thought was electric today was Jamie Bryant, and I mentioned her side set before. The agility, just incredible. I think she was great. And from UQ, I think Henning stood out for me. I think she had to push up a little bit. She was moved around. Overall, though, I think she was really solid and did her best effort to kind of mitigate Aspley's forwards, who was so strong tonight.
I think probably Henning and Garton were the 2 standouts for UQ tonight. Some of their younger, smaller players worked hard without luck. They will have better days through the year, particularly against some of the sides that finished below them from last year. But, yeah, they've got the 4 points. Just to foreshadow, next Saturday, our round 2 match of the round, it's a heavyweight. We are down at Bond University Oval for the Sharks stoush between Bond University and Southport.
We'll see you back then. My name's Hannah Davies. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you, Daniel Viles.
Thank you, Hannah.